Hello, how's it going? This is what I've been watching for so far in 2025. I used to do like the Letterboxd diaries where I basically screen record Letterboxd and go through what I've been watching, thoughts and reviews on the said films. It used to be on the main channel. I've decided to move it over to this Skin Crawlers Extra. So what I do is I go on Letterboxd like this, as you can see, like they tell you, you log what you've been watching. And you can write reviews. And what I thought I'd do is go through everything I've watched from January the 1st, 2025 to now. Some of the films I'll cover a little bit more, some of them will be a little bit briefer, but it should be quite interesting because I've watched quite a bit. So there's February, we want January. So I've just got to go on to the next page. I haven't done one of these for ages, but I'm going to start with January. I think that's a good place to start. So let's get to it. So January 2nd, I watched Critters from 1986. I had the Arrow box set, and I watched the first one. I've not seen any of the Critters films before, none whatsoever, and this is what I thought of them. So Critters been quite an anticipated one for me. I gave it 3 stars out of 5 though. I liked aspects of it. Obviously, like it's quite a sort of tongue-in-cheek, a bit like a bit goofy, about these critters, carnivorous, sort of little furry aliens. The critters. I'm sure you guys know what a critter is, who basically, they land on Earth and they're just causing havoc and carnage. You can blatantly tell Critters is a Gremlins kind of rip-off, but it's fun in its own right. And I do need to get round to the sequels, but I don't know what I'm going to think of Critters in space. I mean, Leprechaun in space was bad enough, but although I do like a lot of films out of the Leprechaun franchise. Watch The Stylist, the short. So there is an actual feature film on this. It's basically the British Maniac with a female who's a hairdresser and she's scalping victims. It's pretty good. This is the quick short. Gave that 3.5. Do quite, and the movie's pretty good for what it is. Howl's Moving Castle 2004. Gave that 4 stars. Yeah, I had a bit of a Studio Ghibli kick at the beginning of the year, and I watched Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle, and I thought it was a brilliant tale. I mean, Studio Ghibli, they've got a great catalogue. I mean, they could give some of the Disney classics a run for their money. Really good like anime stuff and very even westernized to some extent. You can tell these films were also created for a Western audience as well as being anime. But such a good movie. Like the whole narrative was cool about the moving castle where Howl lives, and then of course you've got the young girl who's turned into an old lady. And she's cursed, and it was just so good. The animation style was great. The film was really interesting. Yeah, really, really rated Howl's Moving Castle. I'll try and speed through a little bit, guys, because the main talking points in this video is actually going to be a recent watch of a few films. One of them being Bloody Axe Wound, a Shudder original, and The Rule of Jenny Penn, starring John Lithgow, which is a Shudder original as well. And I've also just watched Popeye the Slayer Man, so my thoughts on those coming up later on in this video. So what I'll do is I'm going to breeze through like January, February, March, and when we get to April I want to cover some of the films a little bit more. It's just a little video, show you guys what I've been watching. Godzilla Minus One, yeah, I liked it. There wasn't enough Godzilla in it for me, but it was a very well put together film, the good narrative, and you could actually kind of like sympathise with the antagonist characters. But yeah, I'm just a bit mad. I just root for Godzilla. Go Godzilla, create carnage and tear shit up. Sasquatch Sunset, a little bit disappointing. I weren't too keen on that one. I was kind of like anticipating it, but I thought it was a little bit lackluster, to be fair. Quite boring in areas, just the Sasquatches going around doing silly things, and then weren't too keen on that one. The Nesting from 1981, which is getting a 4K from Vinegar Syndrome this month. Found it a little bit disappointing. Watched the original Nosferatu for the first time. I had seen clips prior, but this was an actual full watch of the feature film, which is very short. I think it's about an hour and a half, isn't it, Nosferatu? But yeah, classic vampire action, and I can't wait to watch the Roger Eggers remake. This is from 1922. Where's the runtime? I might be just missing it, guys, because haven't done one of these for a while. Yeah, solid film though, like great imagery, very eerie, and really enjoyed Nosferatu. The Max Shrek one from 1922. Girl in the Basement. This is basically based on the... I watched this on Paramount Plus. The film is basically based on that Fritz guy from, I think he's Austrian maybe, and what he did and kept his, like daughter captive in the basement, impregnated her, and then kept her and the children together down there whilst the rest of the family's unaware. Quite difficult like source material. It wasn't actually a bad film. You can tell it's a kind of made for TV film. It was okay. I gave it 3 stars. Watched Training Day on 4K, classic, love Training Day. Baba Yaga from 1973, a little bit disappointed with that one. It's a weird kind of bit of witchery and just about this photographer. Yeah, I didn't find it that interesting. Rewatched Wrong Turn. Wrong Turn's pretty damn good, cannibal hillbillies attacking people in the wild. Citizen Toxie, The Toxic Avenger 4, had a blast with this one, so much fun. I still need to watch Toxic Avenger 3 though, but this was crazy. You got like a woman like groping like a challenged man, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff. It's got like a different kind of like an alternative reality where there's 2 toxic Avengers. Scalper with this starred Jake Busey from 2023. I found that disappointing. Friday, just a classic, great comedy. Ice Cube, Chris Tucker, so many funny things in there. When D-Ball knocks that guy out over the bicycle, and you got Chris Tucker's character and just goes, "You got knocked the fuck out!" Like, so funny. So many good lines in Friday. And when Chris Tucker's character's high off the angel dust is absolutely hilarious as well. And on the same night, I watched A Night at the Roxbury with Will Ferrell, and I found it to be quite fun. I'm not the biggest fan of Will Ferrell movies, but this was a good one from 1998, and somehow I'd missed it. Creep 2. Love the Creep films. Mark Duplass is just brilliant as the creepy guy. And yeah, this time a woman has gone to film a documentary for a YouTube channel. She meets some strange people and she comes across Creep, and he just leads her along and just leads her on, and just things get a little bit crazy, as you can imagine. Rewatch Lake Mungo. Good mockumentary. Watched 4K From Beyond. Yeah, nice 4K from 88 Films. Enjoyed the film again. It's a good one. Stars Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton, and Ken Foree from Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, From Beyond. It's a good H.P. Lovecraft adaptation from Stuart Gordon. Very good film. A Simple Plan. Solid film. Grafted on Shudder. Thought this was pretty good. Bit of a body horror. Don't want to give too much away, but Werewolves on the 1st of February. That was a disappointment. That's one from last year. So I need to get on to... Right. I'm going to be at the top again, guys, so I've got to go right down to the bottom. Raiders of the Living Dead, watched the Vinegar Syndrome release, gave that 2 stars. Rewatched Terrifier, but in 4K. I love Terrifier. Art the Clown is the new horror icon. Just crazy splatter fun, and the first film's my favourite because of how linear it is. Yes, the other 2 do up the ante in the gore department, and narratively too, but just the original's just a linear, straight to the point, straight up, old school, retro style slasher. Love it, gave that 5 stars. That went up from like a 4.5. Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter after that. Slashers, that was an interesting watch from 2001. Watched the Terrorvision release, basically about a reality show where slashers are trying to kill their victims, and then little do the victims know that they're actually in a legitimate slasher game where they could actually lose their lives. The Enchanted, good little regional horror set in Florida. Below, very disappointing. I gave that 2 stars. I thought it'd be a bit more liking to something like Leviathan or The Abyss, but no. It was a straight up kind of like disaster sort of movie, and it's pretty boring, I thought. Wolfwood, okay found footage. I only gave it 2 stars, just a found footage movie from the UK. Yeah, I had some okay ideas. I have got a soft spot for found footage. Night of the Devils, that was pretty good. Basketball, Trey Parker, Matt Stone, the creators of South Park. Yeah, fun movie, good like 90s comedy from 1996. Anthropophagus 2000. Now this was shoestring budget. I mean, this probably had a lower budget than the original 1980 film, and it's nowhere near as good, but it did have some good crazy gore in it, I'll give it that. Landmine Goes Click, that was a rewatch. That's an interesting film. Mirror Mirror, I did enjoy this one, gave it 4 stars. Very good film. Basically like a haunted mirror that sort of takes control of its kind of like the possessor. Whoever like possesses the mirror in their bedroom, the mirror starts showing them strange visions, and ghosts visit them, and things get a little bit sinister. Law, quite Can't really remember that one. No, it weren't very good. Bit disappointing. I think that has Richard Brake in it from like is it Three from Hell? Yeah, he's one. He's like the in the Firefly family. Yeah, Richard Brake's telling these stories around a campfire and about these people who were murdered by strange beings, ghosts and things. Don't Torture a Duckling, that was a rewatch. Fantastic. Lucio Fulci Giallo. Rumpelstiltskin, had a blast with that. I Am Zozo from 2012. That's quite an interesting one. It's got a good, interesting concept. It's about an Ouija board. That's basically people go to a cabin. They get out on a Ouija board and this spirit's summoned who just basically causes people to die, and it's a strange film, quite haunting. The ending's quite haunting, like it's got weird music and it's quite surreal. I do kind of like I Am Zozo, although only giving it 2.5. It's a little bit boring in places, but it's also pretty interesting as well. Drag Me to Hell, watched the 4K, had a blast with that. Hotel Fear, that was a good one. Watched 4K Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 from Arrow, fun movie. Against the Night, can't quite remember that one. I don't think it was very good though. Mirror Mirror 2, Raven Dance. This was a disappointment towards the compared to the OG, which is much better. An American Haunting. This was actually quite good. Starred Donald Sutherland. Basically about this curse, and there's a reason why this spirit of a witch is haunting this family in sort of like USA, like a couple of 100 years ago. Masters of the Universe, had a blast with that one. The Dead Room, gave that 3 stars. What was The Dead Room? Because some of these, like, I watch that many films sometimes, I actually forget. And what happened in this one then? Because when a terrified family differs from New Zealand forest, young psychics and investigate the claims of a haunted may encounter a powerful spirit that operates our secrets. That's of course. Can't remember that one, guys. I really actually can't remember it. Like, this is why I should do these videos more often. The Cell, quite disappointing for me. It was an okay film, like okay idea. I didn't think too much to that one. The Witch's Mirror, this was an old school 1960s horror. Yeah, kind of cool. Just a really old schooly, kind of tame like horror. Blood Tracks, that was a blast from Vinegar Syndrome, 1985, gave that 3 stars. A rock band go to this secluded, snowy area, and they're basically like making a music video, but there's this weird family of mutants nearby in an abandoned building who keep murdering people. Creep 2004, good solid British horror set in the London Underground. The New Street Trash, I didn't like it. I thought the humour and the comedy fell flat as well. Iced, rubbish transfer, but I suppose they did what they could with the elements. But yeah, pretty fun, like, shoestring slasher budget, shoestring budget slasher movie. Terror Trips was promising. A group of people basically want to make documentaries going to haunted locations and locations of where horror films took place and things like that. They end up in the wrong area. Somewhere in Europe, and these people are trying to kidnap them and stuff. Started off very promising. The characters were kind of slightly likeable and things like that, but then it just got a little bit cliche later on. Unidentified, thought that was a solid fan footage movie. The setup's actually better than the payoff, so when you're watching the people interact with each other and have fun in Las Vegas, that's kind of more interesting than later on when when they get abducted by aliens. That's bits. The special effects kind of look good, but the payoff's not as good as the build-up. But yeah, this one of the guys in the group has basically arranged a fixed poker game with a guy with Down syndrome. But little does he know, the guy with Down syndrome is actually quite smart and can outsmart him. And they lose this loan shark's money, and the loan shark comes after them. Last Radio Call, brilliant fan footage, mockumentary fan footage film. A cop, this woman's husband goes missing, and she's trying to uncover where he's gone. There's loads of footage of him when he enters this abandoned insane asylum, and yeah, it's very creepy. It's about this sort of like entity called Red Sister, and yeah, there's a lot of layers to Last Radio Call. It's actually a brilliant film, highly recommended. I give it 4 stars. I've watched that a few times now and I find it very interesting. I actually don't want to give too much away. House of Seven Corpses, solid sort of 70s movie. August Underground, revolting and vile. Yeah, that was a vile film. And it wasn't that good either. Grave Encounters 2, nowhere near as good as the first one, but still a fun ride. The Addiction from 1995, interesting vampire movie. Abominable, that's pretty good, exactly what you'd expect. Deep Blue Sea, another one that's just a fun shark movie. Entity, load of rubbish, I did not enjoy that at all, I can't even bother to talk about it, it was that bad. Lurking Fear, good H.P. Lovecraft adaptation, pretty solid. You have is it Ashley Lawrence who plays Kirsty in Hellraiser's in there. Jeffrey Combs plays the Doctor. Really good H.P. Lovecraft adaptation, this one. Set predominantly in that church, abandoned church that the curse is hovering over, and there's them underground, and you know, it's kind of like a little bit dystopian, the film is, and like, yeah, they've got to be careful they don't awaken something lurking underground. Blue Sunshine, very interesting movie. I have gone over it a bit on the main channel, but I gave that 4 stars. That's from 1977. Scanners, watched the new 4K from Second Sight, the limited edition, beautiful transfer, but I didn't think it was one of Cronenberg's best. More on the action side than the horror. I was kind of looking for more horror, like, you know, something like Shivers or The Fly or, I don't know, Videodrome, you know. But Scanners, solid film. In the Woods, found this one disappointing, from 1999, watched the Terrorvision release. And this video has moved quicker than I thought, so I'm actually going to talk about these ones a little bit. So here's my recent 5 watches. On the 28th of March, I watched Bloody Axewound. This is a Shudder original. Tells the story of a young girl whose father is actually a serial killer. And they film the murders, massacres, and put them on video cassette and sell them in their video rental shop. She's obviously heir to the throne, the slashing throne. He wants her to become a slasher. She infiltrates a high school and makes friends with the future victims who she's going to actually end up killing. And she becomes very emotionally attached to them and actually falls in love with one of the girls, and their kind of relationships like coming together and blossoming. The dad is not happy at all. They end up in a camp where a camp kind of slasher scenario plays out. Very good, like meta horror, very self-aware. A little bit of it like with the meta doesn't quite work, you know, always, but it's very entertaining. The characters are fun. The dad's kind of disfigured. He has like a disfigured look to him. And yeah, a lot of fun, this one. Even has Jeffrey Dean Morgan in a clip at the beginning on one of the massacre videos, which is really fun. He does a great job. And there's like this mad, like, sort of doctor killer. He's only in it for about 5 minutes, but he steals the show. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a fantastic actor. But Bloody Axewound, highly recommended. I did enjoy this one. I gave it a 3.5. This is from 2024. It's a Shudder original, but very good, like a lot of fun. Like the whole how the killer's like basically becoming more like in touch with her human side. She's not exactly a cold person to begin with. She's very likable, but she's obviously a killer, or a killer in the making, and she's got to try and overcome her father's wish to for her to become a killer. She's, you know, falling in love with somebody, with this other girl, and yeah, it's just good. It was just really fun. Good kills as well, you know, had some good violence. Yeah, pretty darn good. Did enjoy Bloody Axewound. Dark Knight the Scarecrow, watched the new Blu-ray from 1981. Yeah, good movie, very solid. There's actually an article why it's such a satisfying film on skincrawlers.co.uk, so if you're watching this video, check that out, because I do go into a lot of detail. And on to my latest 3 watches. I watched this new Shudder original, The Rule of Jenny Penn, from 2024. Stars John Lithgow. It's about a guy who's basically has a medical issue. So it will say here, I can't quite remember what his issue was, but this former judge basically goes into an old people's home, a retirement home, for a few months. He's not permanently there, and he comes across John Lithgow's character, who's basically psychotic, and he is a psychopath that carries a doll, as you can see up there. He's got a doll which has kind of red eyes, and basically he keeps the residents in line and under his ruling by terrorizing them in a psychotic manner. You know, the scenes where basically he pours water on the former judge when he's in bed to make him look like he's wet the bed, and he's terrorizing him and beating him, and it's, you know, it's all under the crazy regime of this Jenny Penn, the doll that he possesses, which rules everything. You know, he rules the retirement home. It could have had supernatural elements in it. They didn't kind of go for that. They just went straight up for a film about John Lithgow playing a British old man who's a psychopath who terrorises people with his creepy doll. Quite fun, like the idea. I just didn't think the payoff was very good. I did give that 2 out of 5. I could maybe stretch the rating to a 2.5. John Lithgow was brilliant, as most of the majority of the time he is. He was the best thing about the film, but I just found a lot of it quite boring. But I thought the retirement home, setting was rather interesting. Hardware, this was a good one. From 1990, enjoyed the new 4K from Umbrella. Yeah, it's basically about this droid going crazy in an apartment. This killing machine that's been built for population control in the dystopian future, and the this character Jill and her boyfriend Mo have got to try and stop it from killing them. And we are on to my latest watch, which I watched late last night, Popeye the Slayer Man. I'm into these crappy horror movies. I was quite pumped for this. I thought Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey was average. The sequel was a bit better. Kind of looking forward to watching that Screamboat. Obviously, a lot of properties have gone into public domain now. So because somebody did Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, all these horror filmmakers are thinking, we got a hit here, even if the film's rubbish. Let's cash in and use these old entities that are public domain to basically sell the movie and the title. But Popeye the Slayer Man was rather good. I did enjoy this, and basically there's this abandoned warehouse facility where there's the legend of the sailor man who murders people. He's a former sailor man. Something went wrong and his ghost haunts the building. It's got some great kills in it. Popeye really does tear through people. One thing I did find slightly disappointing, he doesn't punch through somebody's head. I really want to see Popeye's big fist go through someone's head. He pulls plenty of heads off and gouges eyes, disembowels people, rips them apart. Crazy fun time. Good slasher movie. I did enjoy this Popeye the Slayer Man. Much better than Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. It's from 2025. I've not seen many 2025 movies actually, but I loved this. I say I loved it. I loved the killing and the slasher aspects of it, but the film's not exactly good. The plot's a little bit by the numbers. They try and create like an intricate plot which does work. It's played rather seriously. Popeye himself looks fantastic. He's been consuming contaminated spinach. That's why he's so beefed up, and he looks like. He doesn't look real, but the effects work. He's basically wearing a bodysuit, and he's got a puffed up face. He looks fantastic. I really thought this film was fun. The narrative is a little bit predictable, like I said, but they do try and create a backstory for Popeye involving his family, like his baby and olive oil, and it's got a bit of mystery to it. I thought this was good for a cheap, for a lower budget slasher film. This was a lot of fun, and I would recommend this one. I give it 3 out of 5. It's not perfect, it's predictable, it's what you'd exactly expect, but that's exactly what I wanted, and Popeye the Slayer Man was a lot of fun. So that's all my sort of watches for this year anyway. Just a quick rundown. I'll probably do a review for the website on Popeye the Slayer Man so I can get more of my thoughts down, but it is a very predictable average slasher, but it's so much fun seeing Popeye just kill people. Popeye going mad and just beating the crap out of people and snapping wrists to the point of the bone being exposed. Yeah, great fun. That's my sort of rundown of what I've been watching for 2025 anyway. I'll do more of these on the channel. I've decided to put it on extra. Thanks for stopping by. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. Do check out the main channel, that Skin Crawlers, that is the main channel where I mainly put videos out, extras just for a little bit extra for things like this video. I'm also going to be moving a series from that. I've not done the last episode yet of the current series, but I do Trash Movie Matinee, all things trashy and horror. On Skin Crawlers, I'm actually going to be moving that over to Extra, so I'll be doing the final episode on Extra probably next week, and then we'll do another season of that when the time's right. So thanks for stopping by. Yeah, Popeye the Slayer Man. He's Popeye the Slayer Man. He lives in a caravan. He'll punch through your head. He'll kill you in bed. It's Popeye the Slayer Man. Lots of fun. Check that one out if you like your trashy slashers. Really fun. Thanks for listening. Bye.